Ladies and gentlemen, this is Internet personality TJOmega with another Power Rangers Super Legends review. Mighty Morphin Megazord. This is most likely the only one that you are concerned with. It is also the only one announced so far that goes back any farther than about 10 years. The first thing you will notice is, yeah, that doesn't look like the Megazord you grew up with. I mean, aside from the fact that it's pretty short. This one is more of a manga style. This is something you'd see more out of Gundam or Gurren Lagann. And really it helps make the toy look much more dynamic than it used to. It is not brickish in the least compared to the original toy, and really brings out a completely different style. It's actually much closer in sculpt and detail to the show version rather than the toy. You can see some of the obvious changes. He's really skinny here in the hip. The shoulders have been completely changed. I like to call him Colonel Shoulder Pads from time to time. Yes, they are very big, and thankfully they kept the show design, whereas the original toy had a completely different sticker for the American market. He got a very big slim down in the legs. You can see these are much smoother. The horns on the Triceratops don't stick out. And, of course, he has these huge horns on his very tiny head to bring out mates as he is in his mating season. Yeah, baby. You like those horns, don't ya? I'm a horny Megazord. Now, most of the sculpting you remember is still here. All the little guns that were on the original are here. The tooth design here in the chest, that is still remaining. Unfortunately, the guns on the back, they are slightly molded in, but they do not rise up, so it is hard to tell that they are there, which that's a little bit disappointing. It's no big surprise. A lot of American toys rarely pay attention to the back of a figure. Understandable, at least. The nice thing about Lieutenant Slenderhips here is he has some nice articulation. It is one of the big things that I do not like about Bandai's usual Megazord toys. Now, he has full range of hips. This skirt is soft plastic, so it can move around. Got good knees. The feet are inward bent, so he stands with his legs a little apart, a little bit more natural. And he's got good waist articulation. The head moves very well, and the arms have good lateral movement. Now, after that is where I draw issue with the toy. The first thing you'll notice is this arm is to the side. That will not change. See, for some reason, the left arm and the right arm do not have the same articulation. This arm can rotate at the shoulder and bend its elbow, and nothing else. This one can pull its arm outward or rotate the wrist. And also, that's about all it can do. It's very asymmetrical. It's almost like the two came from completely different toys, which I don't understand. Now, aside from the obvious changes to the detailing, you got a few accessories to make it a little bit more interesting. Behold the Power Sword! Oh, and he has the mammoth shield too, which probably you don't remember him even having in the first place. This is pretty much where he draws his main playability. Now, the articulation is really nice, but you can definitely tell this weird arm situation with the articulation is pretty much where they drew the weaponry's playability from. The right arm is the only one with a hole in it, so you are going to have to make him a righty at all times. That is unfortunate for you who like to keep the weapons on the left hand to be a little bit different. So you're going to have to conform now. You can see this is pretty much the main reason for this articulation. He can draw some pretty nice poses by using just the articulation they gave him. Now, it would have been nice if I could have posed him any which way I wanted, but I can kind of see what they were going with, and if this was trying to cut the budget down on the parts, which I don't see how it would have been that much more expensive, it's really it gets on your nerves if you don't have the accessories attached, but you can still manage some decent poses with him with just what they gave him. The Mammoth Shield can be rotated around, so you can have it out spraying its freezing blast at the enemies, or you can just have it kind of down, arm shield hanging off thingy. Now for a little bit, I mentioned the size before, so I will give you a quick size comparison just so you know what you're dealing with, and compare him to two toys that you do not own. And then I will go ahead and mention he's a little under 6 inches tall. So really not a bad size. You get a lot of little playability out of the figure itself, and he comes with one more accessory to add just a little bit of intrigue to Private First Class Horny Devil. The display stand! Now unfortunately this is pretty much all the display stand allows you to do. Give him this really overly dramatic charging pose. Now for the other Zords in the lineup, this isn't bad because they actually did charge in to deliver their big slash. This one did not. So this pose actually makes no sense whatsoever. Now you can get some dynamic ranges out of this, but really there's no way to make him look good unless he is charging ahead. Otherwise he just looks really doofy and rather constipated. That is because the arm on this only bends one direction. You cannot change it. He also only has one socket that can fit this arm. This is where I take my main grievance with the toy. It's not that I mind this dramatic Superman pose, it's that it doesn't really suit this particular toy. Now, if we're talking the RPM Megazord, which is also in this lineup, it makes perfect sense. Not so much here. I wish they had given some kind of articulation to this to kind of raise him up. Maybe an extra peg hole. I don't know. Something. It just doesn't work for this Megazord and really kind of makes him look goofy. The only way you get really accurate poses out of him is to just keep him on the ground. So, in the end, it's kind of pointless to have given it to him in the first place. Oh well, it's free material, I guess. But really, for a $13 package, and yeah, that's what this ran me at retail, this should have done more. Especially if you're going to cut the arm articulation. I think I would have rather had normal arms, or this be articulate. One or the other. Taking both kind of took too much from the budget and really just kind of leaves me cold. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. No, I love it. Of course I do. I love all the toys I review. Really, $13 is a little steep given his flaws. However, if you can find 2nd Battalion Drill Sergeant 3rd Class Fang Chest for a couple bucks cheaper, definitely pick him up. If you are an old school Power Ranger fan, it is a very nice bit of nostalgia. And really, it's better than digging out that old Megazord from the back room. Anyway, that is all from me. This is Internet Personality TJOmega. Thanks for joining me. Tune in next time. And may the power protect you! Zed, I've waited 15 long years to get you back for dropping me into that lava pit. Now my vengeance is at hand. But no, I have not come alone. Your death you shall never see coming.